position. Oh, that's a nice pick. And they have no idea. He's there. What is this? Oh my god!
Always sees animated. That's a kill. He can go for quick throw there. My god, ball has done it. Watch the season. Oh my god, it's the pistol. And Mages helped him out. They might have done it. 3 kills at the start. It's a 4-on-2. Mages surely goes down here, but he's on his so strong. That is absolutely epic.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here once again, ECS Season 7. This time it's the North American Division. We're coming to you live and direct from beautiful Santa Monica, California. My name is Henry G, and we're going to do it all over again. Today we bring you the semi-finals between two fantastic teams, and as usual, I'm joined by the beautiful James Bardov and the fantastic DDK. I've already asked you how you are. I'm going to do it again. We're going to pretend this is a new day. How's it going?
I'm good. I got loads of boring battery, voltage, electrical related deliveries.
You get a lot of deliveries here.
I've got a fireproof bag, so if my batteries explode, the fire will be contained in the bag.
That's where you want it to be.
With
ideally
LiPo
in a bag.
batteries, yeah.
Have you got any fireproof bags, Dan?
I got a fireproof like little cabinet thing.
Perfect. What are you keeping there?
Well, you know, important documents.
Oh,
like
okay.
passport, you know, any
Nice.
financial documents you need to
I
make
just have
sure
one of
don't
those
get burned if
cans,
there's
you
a house
know,
fire.
it looks like a bulk repellent spray, but
Okay.
the bottom comes out and I can put all my
Oh, like a
cash in
secret
there.
compartment?
Yeah, I have one
Oh,
of those.
okay.
So if you ever break into my house, go check those. Anyway, let's get into the show. We'll have a look at the format first and explain how this all works. It has changed significantly since last season. I think this is the best possible format we can have in online Counter-Strike. As you can see, we have 5 dates along the top and the respective teams along the bottom. Each week, these teams will battle it out in a bracket, single elimination format. We start with a quarterfinal, to a semi, to a final, and one team each week will be taken forward to the finals in June happening in London, England. If you do not qualify in 1 week, do not fear, you can come back in the subsequent weeks and try your hand in the upcoming cup. So there it is. That's how it all works in layman's terms. A little bit more complex than that, but this is the bracket for this week. This is where it's led us towards. Surprisingly, we have Rogue in the grand final. What do you think about that? Are you impressed with Rogue so far?
Yeah, I think that the Team Liquid victory was really good. Luminosity were clearly a weaker team, and I think stylistically, Rogue might have been one of the worst possible matchups for Luminosity, which is a credit to Rogue at the same time, but maybe their toughest fight is to come.
Well, it's great. We haven't seen Rogue at all online for a while, and they've come through and just decimated this bracket, most notably taking down Team Liquid. And we'll bring up the schedule for today. You can probably see what it is. It's going to be Complexity versus NRG. Now, this is quite the spicy game. We had this matchup at the recent major, and it was actually Complexity that beat NRG in quite a convincing manner. NRG looked very flat, but maybe because they knew they were making lineup changes after the event, I'm not sure. It's Tarek that's now come into NRG to replace Fugly, and they are looking pretty decent themselves. Tarek top fragged yesterday. It's difficult to really take much away from one game, but he looked decent, and this team has got a lot of star-studded power. I think in fragging, it's NRG who've got the edge, but I love Complexity's analytical approach. They've got a great understanding of the game and how it should be played. So clashing together, we should have a very good series here, I think at least.
It's called that. Sorry. Oh,
You can both talk if you like.
politeness battle. I'll take it this time.
Go
No,
on.
it's just really cool to see that nothing's still stuck onto the team. He's been a great addition for Complexity.
Yeah.
I felt like they did lose some aggressive playmaking or firepower potential, but nothing's one of those players where he can feel like he understands Counter-Strike very well. He can pretty much do every role. You probably wouldn't accept maybe like a dedicated AWP, and so he can fill those roles as is needed, as he sees necessary. And I think it is actually shaping up a bit for Complexity, but I don't feel like they are strong enough to just face up against NRG in a best of 3, honestly.
James, you can give your thoughts. We don't necessarily have to talk about the beta too much.
I think NRG are on the cusp of being called underachievers at this point, so maybe there is something there for Complexity to exploit. And if Complexity have a good start, that might put the wobbles on NRG. So I think that this is absolutely winnable for Complexity. I think there are mind games to be had with a team like NRG, with the names on those team. Obviously, they've got Tarek on the team as well, so that's a positive. But again, the history is still the same. They haven't been achieving as much as we would have expected from them.
It is going to be Nuke to open things up, and that's an interesting one. And Complexity actually had the audacity to play Astralis at the major, on Nuke, and they gave them a slight run for their money. It was a convincing victory for Astralis, but I respected the fact they actually allowed the Vita to get to that point. It shows they're willing to play it, even against a team that's been undefeated on it. So I think this actually looks pretty good for them. Nuke to open things up, it will set the tone, but NRG are a pretty decent Nuke team themselves, so I don't think I'll be too worried about that. It just excites me we're going to have a really competitive game to kick it off.
Yeah, I think I echo those sentiments. I think it's just one of those matchups. So because if you also add in the fact that we have that domestic factor kind of playing into this as well, both teams very familiar with one another, it should be a very exciting one. I don't think we're going to get weird stalemates and standoffs and just awkward Counter-Strike. I think if there's any awkwardness, it's going to come from just chaos, like the kind of entertaining chaos you want to see. And we don't get to see Nuke really in Europe, so it's good to see that except for some reason we got someone picking it against Astralis, which is very strange.
Well,
who was it again? I forget who it was, but
I've got to kind of hurry this one on. We're running a little bit behind schedule. So we're going to go with the Pinnacle.com predictions from us. This is so difficult. Put on the spot. I will go with NRG for myself. James Bardolph, who you got?
Complexity.
Dan Kapadia.
NRG as well.
Sliggy?
NRG.
NRG.
Whoa.
Okay.
He told me back earlier that he thought Complexity would win.
Well, we don't have time to argue about it. We're going to have to keep going on here.
Still toxic, Sliggy.
So it is going to be a landslide in terms of predictions, apart from James Bardolph. We'll go to the fan predictions as well and see where these guys lie. This is also brought to you by Pinnacle.com, the head sponsor of the league. And you can see it's heavily leaning towards NRG. I think that's not too far. I feel like Complexity definitely have a shout to this one.
Man, I'm picking the upset.
And finally, we'll have a look at the odds as well, brought to you by the same lovely people, Pinnacle.com, the bookmaker of this league, and it will be, as usual, with the NRG as favourites. I think that's fair to say they're the favourites, but I think they're quite generous odds.
I think these odds are more reasonable than the fan vote.
Sure.
Definitely a landslide. I think, again, a lot of it is to do with NRG's lack of consistency at the level we expect them to be at.
Yeah.
I think that Complexity could surprise them.
Well, we are off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The first map of our semi-final is going to be Complexity on the CT side. That's where you want to be, absolutely, especially on their map pick. And it's an upper rush from NRG. They're not wasting any time. Therefore, spot them and nail the first headshot. Can they get that bomb down?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? No kills yet for against the CPs, and Def's picked off another one, sniping them down with the P2000. Bomb finally is planted. That is a massive boon now to the P side. Cirque, though, getting eliminated. Nice jump across, drawing the fire. Nothing finishing it off, and all of a sudden down to Breeze. 3 more to frag. Can't get it done. And that's the defuse in for the CT side. Def really started things off with a bang.
Absolutely did. He had a great shot there with the P2000. Looked like he was slightly overwhelmed, but hits it. Bomb planted. Breezy got 2, but that's all they found with the upper rush. Now they can force buy in this second round if they want to. Bomb plant allows you to get Galils and AKs out, but only 3 at the very most. That's the shot from Def. Nice work by him. Good shot as well towards that vent. Very precise. He had a great major, I will say that. A player that maybe doesn't get enough praise for his skill. He's actually very good individually, so watch out for his rifle.
Yeah, behind the scenes, he is highly regarded, especially in North America, but you don't hear the talk of it too much. Not one of those big explosive players that get all the attention. Definitely a very solid addition to any team. And it begins the proceedings with the AK of Breeze, one of 2 AK-47s in this force buy from NRG, and it's going well so far. Both the AKs getting picks and no answer just yet from Complexity. There is Def, though. He's got to get multiple frags. The pre-fire won't be enough to get a second kill, though.
Wow, nothing. Nice shot. Follow-up grenade as well. He will be dropped in the end, and Ricky won't stand much of a chance here. MP9 only, and the force fire from NRG looking very successful so far. If they do go towards lower, I guess there's a chance he could make this work. It's just very unlikely. So a nice response from NRG. And now they should be able to close this one out efficiently. You can see them transitioning from secret towards the upper bomb site. And with this iteration of Nuke, you cannot get up through the vents quickly. If the bomb goes down, he is pretty much out of it. And that will be the case right here. 1-1. Good decision, I think, from NRG to force buy here, because we talked about it, I think, on the first day of this league. If you don't have the incendiaries or the utility, it can be incredibly difficult to fend off ensuing Ts, especially towards outside and upper. And that's why they bring out 3 rifles, especially AKs. You've got the likes of Breezy, Ethan, Tarek especially on this team. Why not get those rifles out and see what can be done against FAMASs and SMGs? So that's a great call from NRG. It works out for them. They go 1-1 on a very CD-sided map. And Complexity, will they force buy in response? This is such a difficult question. I don't have the answer right now. I would suggest they probably will with the M4 found. They'll get the CZs out, 5.7s, the Deagles, maybe a couple of SMGs or shotguns, and they'll see what's available to them. Remember, Ricky is not the AWPer in this squad. He actually is, what do you call it, a full-time rifler, I suppose. Stanislaw does the majority of the AWPing. And Def is the secondary AWPer, which is... Well, it's Shazam who does the primary AWPing, I should say. Stanislaw does the secondary AWPing, and Def will pick it up. My point was that Ricky was a full-time AWPer in previous teams, and never does it in this squad.
He's a man of many talents. Very good with a rifle as well. He's one of the guys with good spatial awareness across the map, not just for himself. He is willing to contribute the late round calls, the mid round calls for the team. He keeps a picture of the whole map in his head to offer suggestions to his team. Def getting aggressive. Cheeky frag, not a cheap frag, a cheeky frag, excuse me. While NRG move down to the secret position now. Because of that push, NRG know that their map control is being compromised. They don't really have any possession there, and it could be a lot of players towards this B bomb site, but I guess they will just have to frag out.
It's a good molly. Is that actually going to stop Stan? He can't fall back at least. Oh, let's take quite a bit of damage, but can't get any shots off. Then that's actually kind of perfect. Breaks the crossfire, and nothing go for the defense there. That's not too bad. Does some good damage. The T's still down a player. Dev gets the drop on Cirque. Tarek, the only man with any HP, working with the Galil as well. Not an ideal position to be in. Time is starting to run very low as well. Dev will go down, but he does excellent damage to Tarek, but it doesn't matter. Tarek gets the first shot and finds the head. 2 versus 2. 12 HP and 15 HP for the remainder of NRG, respectively. That is a very grim situation. They need to plant the bomb.
Don't think that's going to happen, but the timing's working out for them there. That one shot from Shazam would have been enough to get the kill, but Stanislaw's positioned perfectly here. Will he be able to get the second? I'm not so sure. Well, I'm not sure why I doubted him, to be honest. He has been an absolute beast in the last few months, and that's very well played. Complexity do force by, and it's a successful response there. It's going to be 2-1, but I don't think NRG will yield just yet. They will force by themselves. That's very controlled. Just shoots the window out to suggest he fell back. Ready to pop off the head of the second as well, and indeed the force spike comes through. It's 2-1. NRG with 2 AKs, 1 Galil, and a couple of pistols. Is Daps got a Deagle? He does. There's no armor.
Quite the back and forth. Some rough spots for both teams so far, but now it's Complexity with the advantage again. And once more, we've got 2 AKs and a Galil for NRG. They did well to get the opening shots on the last time they had this kind of setup. Can they do the same again? Not this time. Shazam, success outside. Has support from Def as well. There's a player going wide there. Tarek, can he get the multi-frags? No, Def will shut it down. 3 kills for him. And that might just be the round, it seems. Cirque unable to get anything else out of it. 4 kills for Def in total. And that is the consecutive round for Complexity, which puts NRG on an eco.
It absolutely does. Complexity chose this map for a reason. They're confident in their CT ability, and it's certainly showing now. There's Def, and that aforementioned rifle ability, so strong. He had such a great event over at Katowice. Turned a lot of heads, I'm sure. Stan, unfortunately for him, stole the show because he was an absolute monster, but there's initial damage from him. Takes even down to 19, circa 34. Not really much he can do with this. Glock's no armor, and 1 flash. Incendiary to block their path towards secret.
They're spawning outside. But with only Glocks to worry about, really not too much to fear. We can make some, pad those stats a little bit, make some money. This is quite a rough start for NRG. Oh, lots of cash being built there by Shazam. Gotta love that. Feels really good when you connect the MP9 with those armorless players. Feels very satisfying.
You can't buy that sort of adrenaline rush. Can you, Dan?
You probably can.
I don't know, man.
Just get a shot of adrenaline, stab it in your heart.
Okay, yeah, I guess you could do that. Wouldn't be as satisfying, perhaps.
You first, I'll follow your example.
I saw that in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I'll be right behind you.
You saw how well that went for her, so why not? Anyway, let's get into round 6.
Non-fiction, Pulp Fiction.
Round 6. AKs are out, and it's Tarek leading the way towards outside. He fumbles the jump, but actually takes a lot of damage. So they'll go towards upper, but there's a delay, and Stan will punish. But a couple of frags in return. They actually have the advantage somehow.
Whoa.
Hello.
Wow. Oh my god. Def's doing so much damage. Down to 19. Drops the bomb as well. And 1 versus 1 with 1 HP.
Oh,
and Cirque
how
gets
did he
it done.
miss?
Finds the headshot instantly.
1 HP.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
He hit him down to 1 HP.
No, he already had 1 HP when he started the fight. Didn't
Oh,
hit him
that too.
Didn't hit him at all.
That too.
All
He
of
missed him
that.
completely.
He just missed.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. It was a very exciting moment. Oh my god, Def did so much.
That's such a great way to deflate it. It was a very exciting moment.
For what it's worth, it was quite exciting, I suppose. We continue, though, the tug of war. Look at the buys coming in. AKs and upper rushes, nothing. Will eat a flashbang, but he's got players all around him, can't get a single one. That's going to hinder them a lot because you can see there's no other CT presence. This might be one of those rounds you're like, guys, we might have to save this one. They're going towards the lobby. They'll give it everything they can, but the Molotovs and smokes now will be relentless towards the ladder. That's why you have to save. And an early rush is successful with no kills. They can do smoke after smoke after smoke towards heaven. You can even throw him on top of those flames now just so he gets a nice positioned smoke grenade towards the top. We'll see if those come through. I'm expecting at least a few flashes to be deployed. 1 smoke remaining. Cirque's got that. Looks like the CTs, we're going to have to let this one slip by. Shazam will get 1 kill from CT spawn. Headline is, though, the upper rush works out. Nothing got 0 kills. And the bomb was planted, the round was over.
It's not very often you'll see 4 CTs survive a round won by the Ts on Nuke.
Indeed.
A rare occurrence on a buy versus buy. But here we are. Complexity playing the long game.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to accept that a round's gone and it's time to move on.
Def could drop a FAMAS. Depending on positions, MP9 or shotgun could be used as well, but Def will indeed drop the French gun. 3 scopes, 1 sniper for Complexity in this particular round. Early flashes to take aggressive positions outside, but the silo position might trump those, although there is inherent risk with that. Headshot from Dap to the Mac 10. Def trying to trade. Now he's been spotted, hasn't got what he wanted. Things could get awkward. Dap's picked off by the AWP of Shazam. There was a player on silo. He's fallen back, and Cirque will do the same.
Really works out, though, for NRG. Only 4 left for Complexities now try to find their way to the right positions for a defense, and they've got no real clue exactly where NRG are going. So much time left, they'll go very fast into upper. Not facing the right way initially, but Ethan will still trade out the kill, although he is very low now. But Shazam's a problem. Can they deal with that? Yes, the utility will do the job. It will deposition Shazam, open up a planting possibility. Very safe. Ethan doesn't quite find Def in time. And now it's up to Breeze and Cirque. And he is so blind. Up to Cirque alone now. It's still 100 HP. But there's 2 of them left. Nice side plant, though, to work with.
Cirque is no one-trick pony. He is excellent with the AK-47 as well, as you saw just there. Clinical execution and a full defuse. Ricky might have done it. Oh, he certainly has. He'll go down, but he is the victor there. Full defuse comes in. Cirque thought he had his number. Not the case, though, I'm afraid. Ricky with the balls of steel. Only 1 kill to his name, but that's a significant round to put on the board. NRG will continue to buy here. This is a bit of a brawl here on Nuke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the auto shotgun. I love it.
Right then. No aggression from Complexity outside like before. Molotov on the roof will stop nothing from getting in a position he wants immediately. Some spray from Breeze, and there is our first victim of round number 9. It'll be Stanislaw. Not the statistic he wanted. NRG waiting for some aggression outside. But there is none such from Complexity. 1 player in the lower area for the CTs. The rest lying in wait, holding their angles, waiting for the next play from NRG.
Wow. Okay. Breeze has done a pretty good job. All right. This is a tough one now for Complexity. Do they try to stack everybody on one of the bomb sites, or how do they manage this? Because they just lost. They just won the previous rounds, but everyone died. So their money is going to be absolutely wrecked if they lose this round. look how bad it's going to be if they lose this round.
It's difficult to keep up of who really has the advantage here. In the 5-on-3 map, or 5 plays 3, you have to remember it's such a CT-sided map. If NRG can get this to 5-4 and break the money down, they're the ones who are actually in a much better position. This round is very important. I don't think you can save this one of your complexity. You're going to have to try and challenge it. The bomb is planted, nothing. Waits for the flashbang from his teammate. It's pretty good as well. Needs this kill though. Nails it. Could have got 2 there. It was ambitious. And it looks like NRG have done enough. Shazam. Worst weapon for the retake in this scenario. The AWP. No smoke. Might just have to give in. But the thing is, Shazam, another player I think is criminally underrated in terms of his performance as of late. He was excellent in the major as well. And him on an AWP might be enough to persuade them to force buy and take the gamble. But we'll see.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would go for the save, because they could have dropped 2 UMPs and had a full buy and then challenged that reset rounds. But 1 orb can be enough sometimes if it's in the right place at the right time, as you say. So in comes the 4. I mean, it makes sense to go for the force here. Their money's so absolutely destroyed. What can you do about that? There's not much you can do about that.
Not much at all.
Nice stuff from Breeze. 2k straight away. That's going to feel bad for Complexity. Not too much you can do about it. But they're going to go for the force buy, and they're trying to make it look good.
Big flashbang into the A bomb site. Tarek's making his way downstairs. Will the team commit to the A site, or was it just for him to make an inroads? They see that the vent has been smashed. You have to assume this area has been compromised. Tarek moving upstairs now, while Shazam is seeking. Now, he doesn't know where Tarek is. Tarek could be towards decontamination. So there could be a timing for one of these players where the other is caught off guard. Shazam wondering about Secret. Tarek firing his weapon from there, so see if he goes back down towards the B bomb site. If he will walk into the reticle of Shazam. Seems Shazam's certain that this is the area where Tarek is at this point. Minutes on the clock. 2 players with pistols for Complexity in this round. So I do wonder if Shazam will push, because they may feel like they need to get something out of this. Def checking just in case. So there's the comms. Make sure no one's in decon. That's confirmed. Now they have their info.
Well, here comes the play towards Zappa. Stanislaw, not the best weapon for the job, but he's making it work. He actually gets 2 kills, a little bit of help from Def there, and he looked like he was on for a few more, but NRG is starting to stabilize now. It is going to be a 3 versus 3. Shazam still yet to get involved. The bomb's fallen down the vent. I didn't notice that. That's huge, but they might not get a chance to show us how important it was. Nothing now left of the UMP, and he will be taken care of. That fell on its arse very quickly for Complexity. They got the first 2 kills. The bomb was down the vent, and somehow NRG brought it right back, and they've fended off the force buy. They tied things up at 5-5. It looks like they will be taking the lead here. Remember, they are on the T side of Nuke. That is massive.
I was just about to say that. It looks close, but you do have to bear that in mind. The CT side quite favored. And it's been a struggle for Complexity to hold on to their advantages. Partly through some just, I would say, some poor luck as well. But Complexity, they themselves, I think, have been playing pretty well. But NRG have really been stepping things up here in the ways of which, in the ways that they've been opening up the map. And so Complexity just chilling here. Just if they could potentially catch a stray player, steal a gun away, that would be an amazing result. And that might be the plan. We've got the worm moving its way forwards, sneaking its way up the stairs. Breeze, I think you heard a step there. He's going to get a better position, but how many can he get?
Can we call it the serpent instead of the worm? The worm doesn't sound very intimidating.
Okay, serpent. The snake.
The wiggly worm coming up, trying to find all of its prey. But they have got an AK at least down.
How much will they be hunted? Should see HE and Molotov. They'll force their way out, or try to. That's a glorious flick from Cirque. That's why he's on NRG. And NRG are now in the lead, 6-5 over Complexity. You have the money to buy once again. Maybe you won't have all the toys they want. No AWP seems likely. That's going to be rough. Now maybe NRG can try to pull away in a round such as this, clear out the money completely for Complexity, and press on. Another fast round into A. Another vent play. Nothing, spotting something. He's got support already. They're pushing through the smoke. That's not to their advantage. And it's being lit up, the kill feed. And NRG are the casualties. They had advantages, went for a fast play. Not working out just yet. Craters for Stanislaw, but Ethan is the only man standing now. 1 versus 4. With all of 40 HP. The bomb's been lost. And that is rough for NRG. A lot of opportunity has been flushed down the toilet. And the toilet's blocked.
Completely blocked.
Logged.
I was going to explore that analogy a little bit further, but I'm not going to. It was going to go to a dark place. Ethan will also be sent down the sewers. It's going to be 6-6. Complexity bounce back. Money actually too amazing on energy. Okay, I didn't see Circle 9k, so that's going to help them out. But still, Complexity really needs to win out the rest of these rounds. It's a map they're competent on, but 6 against you already is intimidating to say the least, as they'll have 2 AKs on the CT side. Shazam hasn't seen the best of him yet. He'll get warmed up though. He can do some pretty brilliant things on this map. Watch out for it. And another upper rush potentially. There's going to play it down the vent. Well, they're getting nothing for that. Incendiaries at the start. Flashbangs as well. Ethan runs into certain death.
It's rough for the CTs, you know, once the Ts have set the precedent that if you don't throw those all that early utility, they're gonna just get down the vents. Then you feel like compelled that you have to throw that at the beginning of the rounds. The Ts get this somewhat of an utility advantage for free later on, and that's definitely not ideal. Nice spray coming through, doesn't quite find a kill, but does some good damage. Again, they don't know how many players, if any, have gone down through that smoke. So we'll have to see if they can actually get the kills here. Stan waits expectantly on the headshot angle. He's been really good so far today. Good HE. That should do some damage. My goodness.
Yeah, a little bit.
And there's a flank from the secret position. Breeze has got his knife out. That's ready. He isn't. Executions from Complexity. How the tide keeps turning. Tarek and Cirque remain for NRG. Not much damage done in this round so far. There's an opening shot. Doesn't last very long though. Tarek, 25 seconds, 1 versus 4, popping out of the vent, but he can't get the kill. Minimal damage done for Complexity as they look to close out the half.
That was very well done. Complexity, especially from Def. Look at the precision, the grenade. That's such a nice alley-oop, because not only have you softened them up, you've sent them packing back into the loving embrace of Def here, as he'll be waiting around the corner. And it is going to be 7-6, and a bit of an eco on the cards here.
Yeah, so back and forth. But again, it's that second half that I'm worried about. Is that going to be something that NRG can just lock down, or will we see the same thing? That would be very fun if we see exactly the same thing, but you really want to see Complexity pick up the last couple rounds in this half. And they're well poised to do so. As mentioned, you know, we're looking at perhaps a half buy here from NRG at best. They're going to be on $2,400 of loss bonus at the end of the next round. So they're fine to buy down to $2,000. Cirque saving everything. He wants the AWP in the next round. Very conservative buy here from NRG. Couple of deagles and that's it really. Cirque trying to bait perhaps.
Bait for what?
Just like pull a player away, it feels like. I'm not sure what he's doing, just... Oh, well, he's been popped like a grape.
Dead now, of course.
Dead now, of course.
Guess they're just trying to identify what the setup is of Complexity. Try and find what's maybe the best route to not die. There isn't really a best route to not die.
Def is looking strong. Does go down eventually. Done damage to Breezy and Ethan as well. And Shazam, that's a nice one. Breaks the back, sends him flying off the silo. And now Tarek with no armor.
I've landed like that a few times. On a trampoline though, almost broke my neck.
Landed on your head on a trampoline.
On my neck with my feet behind my back.
Bloody hell. You're not...
Actually,
no
not on a
James.
trampoline, on a mat off of a trampoline.
You're not the most agile person. You should not be doing backflips on trampolines. You seem like you're not built for it.
You'd be surprised by my agility. I used to do ballet, Henry.
That's surprising.
Come and play football with us on a Thursday.
Are you playing this Thursday? I haven't
Absolutely.
played football in about 20 years, so that could be a little bit embarrassing.
Weekly football in Los Angeles.
DDK, you're a football man?
I do like playing football, but it's been a long time.
How long?
Like 5-a-side is always really fun.
I can do 5-a-side. That I can handle. A full-size game, though, I kind of.
Yeah,
I
it's
struggle.
11-a-side.
Okay,
Thursday.
I can do 5-a-side, but not.
Right, we'll work on it later.
All right.
Last round of the first half, Stanislaw very aggressive. There's a player on the silo, but may not be able to stop him in time, especially while Shazam runs distraction. Stanislaw waiting. Cirque picks Def off in the meantime. Looking for where that shot was. Maybe if there's another one at close range, he will try to punish, but he should hear the footsteps moving away. Smoke goes beyond him. When does he choose to strike? There are multiple players here. Is there a pop flash from a teammate? There it is. There's the first player. Does he see the second? He does. He kills him as well.
Perfect. Meanwhile, NRG, the remainder of them at least, move through to ramp. Shazam looks poised to hit a shot. And now things do get a bit too troublesome, I think, for NRG. They've got only 2 against the 4. There is a time, and they're just going to have to just hit those headshots. It's the only way to go at this point. Daps, the man with the 8K. Tarek will upgrade to an 8K himself as well. Their only way out of this is just to hit some incredible shots. And that's what they're faced with. And you can see how Complexity are playing it. They're waiting for the bomb to begin to get planted before they apply the pressure, when they know where the T's must be. And that's when they can poke out of that door. Ooh, that's beautiful. Will that work? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a fantastic attempt, but it just is not good enough. Well defended by Complexity, pulling things back after what was a very contentious first half.
It was. We split it almost down the middle at 9-6, but I think both teams will be relatively happy with that. The fact that Complexity managed to stabilize things towards the end, and NRG got a decent amount of rounds on the board. We'll see who comes out on top of Nuke after this break, potentially. Am I speaking out of line? Are we going to a break? Anyone? We are going to a break. All right, well, let's do that.
Again.
Hello, welcome back. This is the first map of the only game we have today on the North American broadcast. Our best of 3 between Complexity and NRG. And like I said, pretty even in the first half. NRG had a great success in the segments of it, but Complexity brought it right back. It's anyone's game now. This is the pick of Cole. As Dapt will spot a few towards the ramp. It's Def holding lobby, and his teammates are working towards the ramp.
Ooh, maybe the bait there, or what is going on here from Cirque. You see that Complexity trying to pull rotation away from the upper bomb site by threatening ramp, and it's maybe worked out somewhat. Cirque is still defending here. Awkward spot. How does he work his way out? Almost, but not quite. Daps alone against 4. This is, I don't know about this. It's quite a rough look. Daps does have a smoke and a kit. Might be thinking about saving those at this point. That is quite a lot of value. It's $700 down the drain as he tries to go for a kill. And that is Complexity with both pistols in the bag. But in the first half, they did lose to the follow-up force buy. Will it happen again?
These are the questions, Dan. You
Will it
really
blend?
set the scene there.
Will
The
it
tension,
blend?
the gravitas. What do you think is going to happen?
I think that there is a distinct possibility that it might. We'll see what Complexity. we'll see what
There's a
Complexity
possibility
will-
that someone might be able to win or lose. Who knows, really?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm saying it's a good chance that I think that the pistols will work out for NRG. They pick up the first kill, and that's not a bad smoke. That really locks in the ETs here. They're in an awkward position, but it's all about how NRG reposition themselves around this, and they've already dropped down 2 lower. So if Complexity are now to try to pull back into lobby or something similar, maybe they can catch NRG out of position.
Very interesting standoff we have. Pop flashes from Complexity. They move in from both sides. Will they check for Daps, though? Will they check for Daps? I'd be very surprised. Yes, they will. Rookie leaves nothing to chance. Beautiful stuff from him. Cirque is unable to escape after the first shot, and that leaves 2 players. Meat shots from the Deagle, but nothing fatal just yet. And now Ethan is the last man standing. Running into the corner for the reload. Can't get any more damage out of this round. Just the 1 kill for NRG. And they will have to eco and face half the score of their opponent.
scary prospect.
Indeed it is.
Don't want to be there. Yeah, force for me. The force buys a nuke. I was yanking your chain a bit, Dan, but I feel like I don't like it that much. I don't see much success come from it. I cast a lot of new games, especially recently. The major we had a lot. I don't see much success coming from them. It takes a bit of a mistake from the T for it to work out. But this is the full eco for now on NRG. They've got a Zeus and now only 4 players. Cirque is dropped by a Def. Rory Jackson getting it done. Move to Mac 10. And it looks like this split is very successful indeed. No messing around. Just getting it done quickly and efficiently and just daps.
Function over fashion.
Yeah. Ooh, nice work. To get a kill there, that's not bad. More than he was worth.
Absolutely, yeah. That's some good value out of that USP. Throw your USP away at the end of the round, you will spawn with one anyway. 6-12 NRG with 4 orgs and the AWP on Cirque. They understand the urgency of the AWP and they will start with it immediately. That is a positive start for them, but they need positive results with this start. Cannot afford to lose too much and they will lose Ethan immediately. Great peek from Ricky through the squeaky door, following the play as he swung wide. Wasn't able to escape the AWP, and now we've got Def creeping through the smoke. Daps will take him out, trying to reposition towards Secret. He will make it there, despite Stanislaw's position on top of the entrance to A.
Yeah, Stan playing very conservatively up there, and that's still okay for them. 4 versus 4. Good position from Tarek. He spots the gap, and that could be brilliant. Indeed, it's fantastic. Pulls back. Is it tradable? Doesn't look like it. Beautiful flash, and then repositioning again. NRG in these last couple kills is sort of running circles around Complexity, and there is an answer that needs to be called for here from Complexity, but they seem stuck at this point. They're all spread out as well. So going for the 1v1s, Tarek just comes off the angle. That's beautiful timing, but not really to the detriment of NRG. He can just fall back and it's fine.
45 seconds remain. Now, Ricky could make his way towards the hell position if he wanted to. That's a concern for NRG and maybe why they now have Cirque in CT spawn. He has been outmaneuvered. 33 seconds left, and maybe Stanislaw gets his cap taken off. No, he's looking for it. Great pop-up from him. Cirque unable to respond. 3v3, they've lost that information now with 20 seconds on the clock for this bomb to make its way into the A bomb site. Shazam's being dropped one place, being spotted in heaven. Almost a 2-man spread down for Breeze, but not quite. There's a chance for Stanislaw. He's got to plant it quickly though. 10 seconds, they both peek him from main. And Tarek will survive, pick up the AWP, and that's a much needed round for NRG, but it was so expensive for them.
Oh, it was laboured. It was difficult, and there is money in buckets and spades available for Complexity here. They've got the AWP out, and NRG will only get $3,250 per player with 1 surviving in the previous. As you can see, that's reflected on their current array of weaponry. 2 for masses, a UMP. They do have the AWP of Cirque, which is something to behold, but it's going to be a difficult round. If they lose this, they're 13-7 down with a full reset. This is where it's all decided for me, at least. If Complexity win this, they're taking this map. But it won't be an easy round. Even against the FAMASs and UMPs, that AWP of Cirque is difficult to contain.
He's playing the stairs here by Secret, so we'll see what the setup is for Complexity to deal with this. And what the T's can do is, as you can see right here, they've got basically 2 players that can look at this position, potentially. Shazam with a wide peek, and obviously Stan just crouch peeking it so it's as safe as it possibly can be. And if they play a really slow default, maybe Cirque picks up, maybe he gets fragged, and then things get difficult, but maybe he finds a good timing too. It's quite the dance of timings to open up the round here. But it can backfire on Complexity, because if Cirque does not go aggressive and they don't get the pick, then maybe that happens, or maybe they waste too much time. I feel it's a bit of both at this point. Complexity must answer this by pushing forwards.
Good pick from Cirque, that's what they needed. And a second comes in. Stanislaw trying to take matters into his own hands, and Shazam will have to do just that as well. He actually connects his shot to 4 versus 3. CT still have the advantage, but damage being exchanged. Ethan is above nothing here, but he can't walk out just yet. He will be punished. Through the smoke he goes. Ricky with the AK-47 brings the round back to a more favorable situation. That certainly helps out. 2 versus 1. Ricky with no time to really do much of this at all. 10 seconds before he can get close to the bomb site. I don't think he'll be getting this one down.
Has isolated away Cirque though, and that gives him a chance, but he doesn't have time, and Circus knows it. If only he was closer to the bomb site, maybe he could have hazarded a chance at a plant, but this was quite an impressive round, I should say, from both teams. Just because we saw NRG, the advantage was Cirque getting that first pick.
Yeah.
Then Complexity tried to trade into the bomb site, and the teams were trading 1 for 1, but obviously with that initial frag advantage, it just edges the way of NRG.
I like this cut timeout from Complexity. They've made the decision to force buy in this round, and that's the right one to make. You brought it down to yet another 1 versus 1 there. Ricky got no cash, but he did save the AWP, so he's financially ruined anyway. But he has got the sniper rifle. He'll have armor. He used to be a full-time AWPer in Rogue and indeed Immunity, where he made a name for himself right back in 2015 at Cologne. So he'll be ready to show what he can do with this weapon, and it's the same pressure Cirque had him on the previous. His teammates don't have much, but he has the all-important sniper. He needs to find an opener, and his teammates will try and commit off it. But this is another important round. The food is on the other foot this time because Complexity give this one up. There we go, and NRG will be able to close the gap significantly. So Ricky with the best spawn available on Nuke. Does he go towards Squeaky Door and look towards main? I'd assume that's the case. He wants to go one better than that. Looking towards upper. Anyone crossing over towards the hut. He gets the spot, doesn't connect the shot. And he gives it back to Shazam. Now that's pretty surprising. It's showing a lot of respect for his AWPer, considering he saved that weapon and he have no cash. Gives it right back to Shazam.
It's good to have discipline. You've got to be a team player, Henry.
No, absolutely. I do agree. You just see a lot of teams that wouldn't do that.
It's cool, though, because we asked the question, or I say we, it's the royal we is me. I asked the question. First off, if we're gonna
carry on,
if we're gonna see, you know, NRG sort of dominating that CT side, or if it's going to be as contentious, and it looks like so far it's on a knife's edge for both of these teams, which is awesome to watch. Such a critically important round with both teams completely broke on the money. Slight advantage on the weaponry for NRG, but only slight, honestly. Daps works his way around the smoke, and the first frag is massive in a round like this.
Stanislaus heard the footstep. Daps might not know that somebody's gone past that angle, so that will be interesting, but there is a numbers challenge towards the ramp position. Cirque will run distraction first, then his teammate will pop out, Tarek, for an assist. 2 more players to find. He continues to go back to the well. Doesn't need to re-peek anymore, though. The bomb's trapped there for the time being, but there's 20 seconds. The CTs can play bomb sites now. Speaking of which, Stanislaw making his way in towards A, but he will be denied by security. Now it's a 2 versus 5 for Complexity. The run of success may be coming to an end. Trying to move into the ramp position. Tarek says no. 9 rounds for NRG.
They're looking like they're on their feet now. They have won the war of attrition for now, at least. It was them that was looking down the barrel of a full reset and allowing Complexity to get very close to the victory, but winning the round of the single AWP. They've managed to get themselves back on their feet, shut down the finances of Complexity, and put them onto a partial buy with PT50s and a CZ. They have 1 smoke, a couple of flashes, and Def looks like he wants to get out of that hut very quickly indeed. In they come. They managed to find opening frags before. Can they do it again? Absolutely not. Breezy and Cirque going to town now, trying to deny the plant, making sure that's not a possibility, but Def, he is just going to wait until he's got a guaranteed frag here. See what can be done. It's not the most ideal weapon at this range. We'll see what he can do.
There's a world where someone will drop down in front of him as well.
What's he going to do here?
That's the thing. It's so difficult because also he'll have to do like a 180 flick to get the other player. That doesn't really make it as guaranteed as you'd like.
He just wants him to stop moving.
There you go. No, he couldn't have done better. So that's awesome. Yeah, really well played. Beast.
It is really sometimes difficult when someone's just constantly moving like that to hit them in the head with the first shot. So credit to the patience there. Look at the timing from Def. He realizes the opportunity available to him. Oh! Lovely flick from Def, looking for the ace. Tarek's the last man now. Def taken out, and Tarek will clutch it and ruin the dreams of many. And it will be NRG making it to double figures. But what a play from the UK lad.
Breaks the heart of British fans around the world. That was a Tin Henman moment. Could have been everything, but it doesn't happen. Oh, wow. That was such a sick play for Rory. That's so unfortunate. He couldn't have played that better. The fact he gets the AWP as well, nails the shot, that would have been the sickest ace this week. That was so cool. Oh, I feel for him.
Yeah, that was a savage flick. Felt the intent with that one. Killer intent. Very close game here between these two teams. Again, the economy is just always just being ravaged for both sides continually. So let's see if NRG can win a round with more than one player alive. If they are to even win this round, well, it'd be interesting to see if that's the case. Because look at the money, it's nuts. There's no break for anyone. And Cirque, once again, it's all about timings with this position. He goes up a little bit quicker than before. Gets tagged, spotted, down to 3 HP. Still goes back for a shot before falling back. That's not worked out at all. Big chance for complexity here.
I'm not sure who's going to be taking this one. It's so back and forth. Complexity still looking dangerous. Damage done at the start. Daps cowers towards the window room, but he has to watch the window itself and somehow times it to perfection. Catches Stanislaw and now needs to survive, but Death will take him down. 4 on 4, but not for long. This really is a brawl. Great amount of skill on the server right now, and we'll see if it can be taken a little bit further for complexity. Not quite. Ricky that's dropped at Shazam, covering his teammate Nothing, who's trying to get closer and closer towards our bomb site.
One more behind default as well as the player on the high ground. Player on low ground taken out. There's a trade, but that doesn't work out. Tarek falling to his doom almost. Cirque with 3 HP versus 2 players. Bomb's just been planted. So we'll have a look. Does Shazam have the right angle? He's just moved. Cirque starting to move in, and Nothing's taken out. 13 to 10 for complexity. They're in a good position for the first map, considering NRG are now on eco territory. $2,000 per person can't be ideal for them. Such an important second kill from Nothing.
Both teams have been trading out so well, generally speaking. It's just tit for tat, like constantly, eye for an eye.
Well, there's no love lost between these two teams. Like I said, it was complexity that knocked out NRG at the major, you know, and NRG were considered one of the big teams, should have made it to top 8 and really disappointed. And looking to get some revenge here, but it is going to be another round by the looks of things already. This is an eco for NRG and complexity. This manhandling them outside. 5 on 3. Nothing really can be done at this stage. Nothing is hungry for blood, and he's getting it. Nice aim, good precision. And he might be taken down at range, but Tarek will have to drop down and reposition.
Leave that kill to anybody else, since they've all got much better health. Don't give anything away, and that's exactly what will happen. 14 to 10 for complexity on Nuke, showing us why they like to pick it. Making it a strong map for themselves. So I think Nothing's was supposed to be playing until
the end of the major.
Yeah.
That was what he's contracted for.
So I wonder what's the...
I think it would be a rolling contract while he's happy with the team right now. I think they showed so much promise, and they haven't got... They were actually, I think they wanted Tarek, and it didn't work out. And that's why Nothing was brought in. And now that they're trying to work out, maybe Nothing is the right choice. The thing is, he can still keep up with them, and he's very experienced, and he's a really nice teammate to have. Very level-headed, good motivator. So
I think the only deterrent for him is the travel schedule.
And the dedication of practice when he could just be living the streamer lifestyle. He's a big enough personality to have a very casual, calm life. But he's a competitive individual and wants to help the boys out while they need him, I suppose.
Never goes away, the hunger.
No.
SMG on Ethan. Very light on grenades at this point, NRG. Just waiting for complexity to make their play. One play towards B in Daps. The rest of the team focused on A. Def maybe going for a meeting with Daps sooner rather than later.
This is... Go on, Dan.
I was going to say, this is the round. If NRG get broken here, that's it. It's over.
I was going to say the same thing. So
Nice.
it all works out.
Nice.
Well, it's tense though, isn't it?
I was going to say that as well.
Here it goes then. Breezy will answer back, but he's isolated on the side. They swing him together like that. They've got no chance. Cirque, after firing that initial shot, be pushed back by the Molotov and pincered by Def. And delivers nothing but that as he'll get the third frag of the round. Tarek, a pretty desperate attempt at walking out of the huts, hoping he can get a double spray down, but not going to happen. Complexity find map point on their choice. There we go. Daps will have nothing to say about this situation.
I feel like this might very well be going to 3.
I think you're right. It's very closely contested. Both of these teams a little bit unstable, I suppose, with NRG just signing Tarek and it being with the derby and the storylines I explained. Like, be a lot of tension right now, a lot of nerves, and it's great to watch. I think Complexity are a fantastic team. I really didn't expect much from them. You think back to all the pick'ems and everything like that, literally everyone had the 0-3 team, right? They didn't make it to the final 8, but they got to 2-2 game. They had FaZe on the ropes. They had them. It was so close, and Nico had to step up and have one of those wild games to knock them out of the tournament, but the way they fought, they deserved to be in that top 8. It was so gutting for them. They're a great little team.
Game point for Complexity versus a weakened NRG now. Doesn't really have the money at the moment. 3 pistols, an SMG, and an AWP. But AWP gets to work quickly because Stanislaw walks straight into it. What a great angle from Cirque. He understands the aggression he needs. And now NRG are creating anarchy, rushing from all angles. 2 versus 4. They've got the bomb as well. There goes Def. It's Shazam versus 4. This has escalated quickly. NRG capitalizing on the bedlam. 3 AK-47s and an AWP all of a sudden, and Shazam's just been smoked off the choke point. He's got time, he can wait it out. Looking for anything. Making sure no one's creeping through the smoke. Was almost wondered if he was going to throw his AWP away.
Yeah.
He can't scope in. He's got a quick scope. Oh, that's beautiful for Shazam. But much more is needed. There is a minute on the clock. He's trying to help himself get 1v1s by smoking off some of the choke points. Avoiding the spray. He knows the one player is the tag, but not the frag through the corner of the wall. Nice to see the mind, the juices flowing. That was really cool to watch, but it is a round for NRG.
Certainly is. Cirque once again having to step up with the solo warp and not much else to go with it. Pushes ramp, you don't see that too often these days, and he manages to really make it work with the AWP. Applies the pressure, and as soon as you detect the AWP towards ramp, everyone's obviously be focusing on that, pulling their nades out. That was a cue for his teammates to push Squeaky, push hard with their MP9s and get it done. They've got themselves back in the game, but for how long? They still need to get 4 rounds in a row here just to take us to overtime. Still unlikely. But they'll do everything they can to get themselves there. Flashbang comes in. That'll be Ethan. On a window of opportunity to peek towards the T-Red, but nothing that decides to get the hell out of there and back up the upper bomb site. Shazam AWP on the T side, waiting for his opportunity to strike, and it's Def with the AK-47 looking to see if he can get any intel as he lines up his smoke.
Still some twists and turns left in this one. Perhaps.
Perhaps, maybe.
He's so non-committal.
Who knows? Yeah, I know. Who knows? There's a missed smoke there. That certainly is a twist.
Maybe something will happen. Says
Maybe.
Dan.
You're the master of it, James. You live on the fence.
It's the best place to be. You can never be wrong.
It's true. But you can never be right either.
Well, small price to pay. Tarek gets the shot. First of the round. As we get into the 42nd mark, they're trying to pincer towards lower. The angle towards ramp is becoming more and more common, very difficult to pre-fire. As we'll see Def try and answer back. Has he got the positioning to do so? He's undetected for now, but you can see there's just so many angles to worry about. Just Shazam backing him up. He spots one towards heaven. I thought he had that one. Normally a shot he would devour, but not going to be the case as they run out of time here.
Still one player creeping up top. 2 CTs on the outside now. Rikke still has possession of the bomb, making his way in towards the A side. His teammate has the high ground, so somehow they've maneuvered themselves into a position where maybe something can get done. A laboured spray. He might need those bullets later on. 3 players around the main and squeaky door area. Bomb's being planted.
And it's alive. Just like that. They could just take the map right here, and it looks like they will. Tarek in the 1 versus 2, the new addition to the team. LHE setting forwards towards default, does excellent damage, but not good enough. 16-2-11. It looked like NRG were going to hold on by the tips of their fingers, but no. Their fingers were stamped, and they lose the map. And Complexity, much to our surprise, start the series with 1 map up.
Well, it was their pick, and I suppose, yeah, it was considering the way the game was going. It looked like NRG had it with their great start on the T side. They brought it to a 5-5, 6-6. Complexity won out the half, 9-6 in the end, but their T side was very impressive. I have to say, and it's looking likely to be a 3-map series at this point, but an entertaining one. That's the main thing. There's a lot of skill on the server right now. The fresh-looking NRG are certainly going to have their troubles trying to slot a new player in. They were with Fugly for a long, long time, over the course of a year, when they really made a name for themselves in 2018. And Complexity continue to impress here. A team everyone wrote off when they announced that nothing was joining. It felt like there was no legs to this whatsoever, but they were wrong. They made a dent at the major, and my God, are they making a dent here in ECS Season 7 as well. That's the first map concluded, and I would dare say we're going to have a couple more as well. Here are the stats. Def at the very top, 29 kills for him. Nothing. It's like we talk about him a lot for obvious reasons. He's been out of the game as a pro for what, a year and a half, 2 years now, still posting big numbers against world-class opposition as he gets 22 with Shazam at 20. Big performance on NRG with Breezy and Cirque, and Tarek there at the mid-table. Ethan, 7 and 23. He is one of the absolute stars of this team. That's not quite good enough considering what we know he's capable of, boys.
Yeah, well, just a great performance from Death. That's the focus for me. Fantastic stuff, but can they continue it and have a solid 2-0 series? That would be really impressive.
Dan, maybe they can possibly, potentially get through and have a second map.
Wow, this is like, that's the James special, and I'm getting just tarred with the
I've
brush.
only witnessed it today, and you did it first. I don't know what normally happens around here.
Okay,
you know?
I think that's a lie, but...
On that note, maybe we should call a break and we'll be back with the second map very shortly.